There it goes. Hi, crafty friends. This is Sally down on Camp Creek. This is like take number 16. I keep messing up and I have to start over. Anyway, like I said, this is Sally crafting down on Camp Creek. And I have tried for like 2 weeks to get a video made. I went to the 100-mile garage sale and I got a few things, not a lot of things, but a few things. And I've been desperately trying to get on here and share them with you, but I haven't had time. It's been very busy. It's been crazy, insane, totally bizarre. Always my life is crazy, but it's been crazy, crazier than maybe normal. Anyway, so I'm talking fast because I'm trying to get it done. It's the middle of the afternoon, like 1 o'clock. It's sunny. It's hot. I'm hot. I'm a hot mess. And my son and his sweetheart are down building goat pens. And my grandkids are in the town over that way, 4 of them. The other bunch is in the town over that way. They're garage selling today. And my friend up the road's got her grandkids working on her farm today. And my other friend's coming to get me to take me to Wally World. And so I'm trying to get it all done before all that happens. My mean farm dog's laying on his pallet in there, so I don't have to run up and try to rescue the Ups man. He's really not a mean dog. He just doesn't like the Ups man. I don't know. The Ups man is such a sweet guy. I mean, I don't know what there could be that he doesn't like him, but I think it's the brown uniform. I think that's what it is. They should put those guys in Hawaiian shirts and bright pink shorts, and then the dogs would like him better. Anyway, so I'm trying to get it done. By the way, did I say this is Sally crafting down on Camp Creek? Because that's the deal. This is my happy place where I talk about yarn and all things old farm wife. I guess that's what I do. Anyhow, here we are. Maybe it's like talking to myself. You know, I've always talked to myself. I enjoy my own company, so I think it's okay. As I said, I've been trying to get this made because I do have some stuff to share. Okay, so like last time we talked, I was going down to the 100 miles of garage sale, and that was a big circle of, like, there was a whole area in the state where people were going to have garage sales, and they signed up, and then they got their garage sale like description and where their garage sale was out on a program. And then like they gave prizes, and they gave prizes, and they had like incentives for the people. About every garage sale we went to, someone said, "What's the most unique thing you've seen at your during your garage sale travels?" You know, so that must have been a question they told them to ask. Anyway, I bought some things. I didn't buy a couple things I wished I'd have bought later, and I bought some things that were stupid to buy, and I shouldn't have wasted my time. But nonetheless, it was a lot of fun, and I got to spend the time with my grandsons that live over in Jones, Oklahoma, and they're all grown up. They're like taller than me. I didn't think they ever would be, but they are. And they're super sweet, wonderful, terrific boys. And I don't get to see them all the time because they live a couple hours away. And so, and they don't let me drive. Well, they let me drive. I just don't drive like through Oklahoma City because no. But I can get to their house in an emergency. I just have to go all the way around the dirt roads until I come to their house. It takes longer, but I can do that. Anyhow, so yeah, we went to this garage sale and it was a lot of fun. One nice thing I bought was this thing that my phone is sitting on right now, which is totally cool. I'm still trying to figure out how to use it. And then I got like one that you put your thingy on, and so I can go out and show you my goats one of these days when I figure all that out. And well, they're not necessarily my goats, they're the farm goats. They're actually my son's goats, but they live on my farm. Anyway, they are super cute. Cows are cute too, but goats are more fun because you can carry them around. You can't carry a baby calf around because the mama will tear your head off. Yeah. And plus, if they get used to you carrying them around, when they weigh, like huge, gigantic, they will still want to sit in your lap. I've actually seen that happen. A lady comes into the ER with a broken hip because the cow she bottle fed tried to sit on her lap while she was hanging her laundry out. That has happened. Anyhow, that's why, oh, and see, my rooster got me. See that? He got me because I had to move him out of the old greenhouse, put him in the chicken house because he kept pooping on everything in the old greenhouse. So I had to wait till they went, comatose at night and go out there and grab him up, and he scratched me a little bit. But you can't do that with a calf because they're too big. Okay, getting back to business. So we went to this garage sale. It's 100 miles garage sale. And it was loads of fun. And I just lost my crochet hook down there. And the first thing I saw was I got this little boy, real nice boy hook set of boy hooks. There's one missing because my granddaughter, I gave these to my middle granddaughter because she's learning to crochet. And I gave those to her. Uh-oh, something happened. Oh, you're back. Oh, I lost everyone for a moment. Anyway, these are really nice hooks. They have never been used. My granddaughter's using the H hook. She's learning to crochet. And this was a really nice set for her. And I got this in a big ball of yarn for $5. A big ball of what I believe to be baby yarn bee in the blue color, blue and green and white. And I don't have it here because it has crawled away. I don't know where it went. Anyway, I got that and these first thing I bought. Then we went around and I got this little tripod-y thing at another garage sale for $1. That was a good buy. And I got what else did I get? I just didn't see a lot of yarny stuff. I did see a lot of beanies though, crocheted beanies in the slip stitch. Now that slip stitch has another name, but I can't remember what it is. And that's where you just do different kinds of slip stitches and you end up with like a ribbing. It looks like knitted, but it's kind of bigger and it has sort of an extra row other than ribbing. Makes real stretchy stuff. I remember when I was crocheting, I was first crocheting, and well, I started when I was 7, but when I was in my mid 20s, I guess, and I was there was some inspiration that I had started crocheting a lot. I think it was kids having ball practice and stuff, and I needed something to do with my hands to keep me from getting in trouble. And so I started slip stitching, and I didn't know it was a thing, and I thought I had discovered a new crochet stitch. Yes, I did. Then I found out, oh yeah, this is a thing. And there's whole pattern books full of stuff you can make with this stitch and nothing else. It's kind of funny. Anyway, there were all these hats everywhere I went, and there was some were bagged up and priced individually, and then there was one place where there was just a whole stack of them in infant sizes, and then there was a place where there were great big ones and little bitty ones, and they weren't wrapped, but they were all the same pattern. And so I met a lady who was she was selling baby blankets, and she had some hats, and I commented on her baby blanket because she was doing this stitch, the shell stitch, but without the frame, the one where you just do the shells. And so I was talking to her, and I told her I was making an Afghan. It was similar, and we talked, and I said, I have seen so many crocheted hats. She said, oh, one of the churches in town had a class, and they taught us how to make these hats, and so everybody made them. That's why no one was selling their yarn and stuff in that town, because they'd all learned how to crochet. And, a lot of times people will decide they want to crochet or knit, and they'll go to Hobby Lobby and buy the stuff, and then they find that it's frustrating, and so then they sell it at a garage sale. Didn't see any of that. Everybody was making hats. That was kind of cool, kind of neat. Anyway, there was nothing like that to buy. But I did bump into a lady who had also taken that class. And she said, oh, actually I overheard her. She said, oh my goodness, I found the best garage sale. There's this lady and her sister died and she was selling all her stuff. And I bought totes of garage sale. They had 20 skeins each and I got them for $20 a skein, but you had to buy a whole tote. I was so excited. I said, where? And she jumped, So she told us how to get there. So we got in the car. We'd been done. We were done. But my sweet son-in-law drove back down there. We found the place. And these people were putting their stuff up. My daughter rolls the window down. She says, do you have yarn? And she's like, yeah, we just put it up. We'll get it out tomorrow. Okay, thanks. She's like, well, I can get it out if you want to see it. And I'm like, okay. So she got it out, and all the good yarn was gone. But she told me the sad story of her sister passing, and I felt like I had to buy something because a little old lady had gone in and got the stuff out. So I bought a tote of yarn, but it was $40 instead of $20. Somehow the price had mysteriously gone up, and it was not a steal. It was a whole bunch of this $1.25 yarn from Walmart. This is homespun, remember that? And it smells a bit musty. A few of these yarn bees from Hobby Lobby, a little musty still. And some of it I just had to throw away because it was that fancy yarn, deco yarn, I think they called it. Hobby Lobby had for a while. It's real pain in the patootie yarn. And they sold it out real cheap, and I did buy a bunch of it back in the day. I got these, and they're all basically the same type of yarn. And I'm thinking I will probably make some kind of an afghan to gift somebody out of this, crocheted. So that was one of them. That's something I can do with my $40. Another thing that was in there was this, which is kind of strange, but I'm thinking I want to make me a crocheted Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever. You know, they say Bigfoot's running around here, even up our way. And I know some people who saw it and were not drunk at the time. She promised me. Of course, people seldom admit to me when they have been drunk, so who knows. But anyway, I want to make one. I want to make a Sasquatch, and I think this would be perfect. This fuzzy stuff, this is Symphony, Red Heart Symphony, and it's old enough that it was only $3.84 at Hobby Lobby. That should make me a Sasquatch. And then I'm pretty sure this is wool. There's 3 of these. There's no label on them, but they definitely feel like wool, like real wool. I could test it and tell you. But I thought something, amigurumi or something. I even thought about using it with this for my Sasquatch, but I have this, and I think this might make a better face. I don't know, and feet. I really need a giant amigurumi. Well, won't be giant, but 2 skein amigurumi Sasquatch. I need that in my life, so I will make that out of that. Then the last little bit of stuff that I got at that garage sale was this Barnett, and it's a little musty. What can I say? I do think when I make it and wash it in some vinegar, I can get all that out. But I thought those might make a baby blanket for a little girl baby. There's a white and 3 white, a pink, and a lavender. I don't know. So, yeah, that's not such a great deal, is it? But I felt bad, and I felt bad she dug it out, and I felt like I should give her something for it. So I said I would buy a box, and she said it was $40, and I thought, but I did it anyway. It's okay. It's okay, right? It's all right. So then we went to another garage sale, and they had Darn Good yarn. She had 2 boxes of Darn Good yarn. She said her mother had been in that monthly yarn subscription club, and basically what it had in it was a bit of yarn. So I'm thinking it was probably maybe what she hadn't used. And these yarn bits feel a bit like seconds. They don't feel like great quality yarn. None of them do. This is like silk DK weight. It's fine, but it's just not. It doesn't feel like good quality to me. Maybe it's better than I think. This is speckled tweed recycled silk. I don't know. This is another one that is fingering weight silk yarn, silk retreat. There's just not enough either to do much of anything. This one's Black and Hue worsted weight silk yarn. Black and Hue. It's spun with a black thread. And then this is a roving silk yarn, worsted weight. So, you know, I got these, right? But I paid $5 for them, I think, and these little short knitting needles and a crochet hook. These are rather cute. I'll show you. I don't know if you can see that. See that? Just a little crochet hook and a knitting needle. Yeah, it's all right. It's kind of a pretty thing. It says darn good yarn on the tail end of it. The knitting needles are a bit short, but the crochet hook is a bit long. That's okay. You want to do your little Tunisian. That's always good. I like to make a Tunisian in the round. Oh, I'll get this back on now. Tunisian in the round continuous blanket out of scraps. I did that one time with wool, and then I felted it, and it was kind of neat. So this, I don't know. I got no idea what I'll do with this. I'll do something with it though, because I don't want it to just sit and not be used up. You know, it's crying to be made into something. I don't know, but that was all I got from the garage sales. It was a bit disappointing as far as yarn goes, but other than that, we got a lot of other really cool stuff. So that was good. That was a good thing. And it was a nice day, and the weather was nice, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm so glad I went, and I hope we go next year. So last time I talked, I told you, oh, spider! Oh, where'd you go? Oh my goodness, looky, 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 looky. Where'd it go? It's a little hopping spider. Let's see, little hopping spider. Oh, it hopped off. Little spider. A nice spider, though, not a bad spider, good spider. Okay, last time we talked, I told you about the yarn that my daughter found at the garage sale, the big yarn haul with all the hooks and all the stuff, all the exciting stuff. And I was going to take all of that Noro and plus the one skein of Wisdom Poem Silk, I think it was called, and see how big a shawl I could make. So these are all similar yarns. They're wool. At the top, there's one that's wool and silk mohair. But the bottom ones are the scratchier. Isn't that pretty? And I had enough to do some little tassels on the bottom and edge. I never have done that before on a shawl. Usually I don't have anything left. And it's big. It's nice and big. This will be nice for something. I don't know. And I put the soft part up around the neck. So that's going to be good. I wrapped it around my middle granddaughter, and she said, Grandma, it's itchy. I said, I know, it's because it's wool. It's okay, though. So I'm excited to have that finished. And what I did, whoops, where'd it go? I knit this with my ChiaoGoo. I started with a different needle. I can't remember what brand it was, but this is like an 11, I think. Yes, 8mm. I love these. I bought these one time when I just wanted to buy something for myself, and I found them on sale, and I have just loved them. I would take another set of them because, you know, when you knit, when you crochet, you can take hooks in and out, but when you knit, you tend to have to leave everything on. And so, anyway, I did that, and then for the edging, I crocheted my bind off. Okay. And I did a crocheted bind off, and then I did 2 rows of just a chain, like a chain link, they call that, back and forth. And then when I knew I wasn't going to be able to go back across, I made tassels. So it was a nice stretchy way to bind it off, as long as you've got to make sure that you use a hook, you know, that's big. It's probably as big as your knitting needles is best, but I didn't want to get out of my chair, so I just used one I had, and I just made sure I crocheted real loose. So so that you don't want it to pucker, but it makes it a little bit of a stable, because sometimes when you do, you know, garter stitch knitting, you get this you want it to be stretchy, but you don't want it to be unstable at the edges. That's me. I don't want to be unstable either. So this is just my own pattern. It's just your common, you know, start out with a 12 stitch tab, and that's easy enough to make. You just do 12 rows or 6 rows, I think, whatever it is, and then you cast on. Um, you pick up stitches around it, so it kind of like it's a square like this, and here's your knitting needle, like say over here, it's your knitting needle and your little square, and then you knit to here, and then you pick up all these stitches, and then you pick up the stitches on this side, so you pick up all these stitches. So 3 corners have stitches now, are on your hook like this, on your needle, not hook. And so then you knit around, and the way you get your, probably everybody knows this, right? The way you get your increases is you knit down here, however many you're going to do. If you got to figure out, you want equal, you want everything to be equal. So I knit 4, yarn over, knit 2, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, yarn over, knit 4. And so then I just keep that as my pattern, and it just gets bigger and bigger. And so till you're done, and then you bind it off. Anyway, there it is. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to make. And I worked on that while we traveled. And then I just worked on it all week, because that is really good stress knitting. Like when there's a lot going on and you have to you just need to keep your hands busy. And so I like garter stitch for that. Somebody said that when they knit, they don't have to look at their work, but when they crochet, they do. There's probably a little bit of truth in that. But once I establish a pattern in crochet, I don't really have to look at it too much. But I was practicing when I started that, I was practicing my continental knitting, because I like to be able to knit in various ways to relieve hand pressure, hand overuse. And so sometimes it's nice to do a baby blanket or a wrap or something that maybe your tension consistency isn't as important. So when I started out with this skein right here, this bright colored one with the yellow in it. And this was a big skein, and the blue was a big skein, and all the others were like 50 gram. These were 100 gram. And for some reason, even though I do think that this red one was a bigger ball than that, I don't know, maybe it had been used out of, I don't know. I didn't appear to be, but anyhow, I just tied on the new colors. So I was practicing my continental knitting, and I liked it so well, I thought, oh, I think I'm going to take this out. Because the problem when I do that, when I do continental, I'm just working on consistency and speed, right? And relaxing my hand. I will drop stitches. Inevitably I will have drop stitches. So when I decided I really liked it and I was going to take it out, I had a lot of drop stitches. So the whole time I knew I was going to take it out. So then I did it just, throwing, or English style, picking. I kind of don't throw. I kind of lever. I don't know what I do. Anyway, I started out that way, and then after I get some length on it so that's easier to handle, then I went back and practiced my continental some. So it's mixed, it's both. That's okay. It's all right. And then it's got the crocheted edge. When I was doing that crochet cast off, I thought, why don't I do this more often? Because this is so easy. It seems like it's just so easy, so fast. It's the same as when you use a knitting needle, but it was just so fast. Anyhow, but I forget that. So I finished that shawl. This is my Coat of Many Colors shawl, I like to say. And I did some rows on my afghan for my living room, which I think has turned out pretty. I kind of feel like I should have used a bigger hook, because I'm feeling like it's a little stiff. I know it's going to lighten up when I wash it, but I don't know. I did that because when I started out, this yarn. This, whoops, it's stuck. This yarn. This is Red Heart Cocoa. It was a little bit, it was not as thick as some of the other yarn that I put on. And it does call for, you know, a 5mm, a 5.5mm, but I'm using an H hook because that was just what looked best. And I've been using my Tulip, actually my 4.5 hook is what I've been using. I want to forget that. So I'd like to get quite a bit more done on this. I'd like to just sort of focus on this and get some more done on it. And then I was working on my green socks. Yeah. So this is my my green socks. I'm at the heel turn. This is Patton's Croy, and I believe it's the color turquoise stripes. Isn't that pretty? I think it's so pretty. And these are some Crystal Palace double pointed needles that came in with all that stuff that I got at that first garage sale. And this neat little, I'm sure this is made to carry around on your wrist so you can knit socks while you're walking through the flea market. That's what I think. Anyway, so I'm at my heel. I got a little ways to go before I can turn the heel. This is just a vanilla sock pattern. I believe there are 72 or 68 stitches, and it may be a little bit big for the person that I'm giving these socks to. I hope not. If they're too big, I'll say they're just house shoes. They're not boot socks, they're house shoes. And these really aren't going to be boot socks because they're not tall enough to be boot socks. I made some boot socks, but I have made them before, just taller socks. And someday I would like to make a pair of really tall socks with all the different fancy stitches in them. I think that would be fun. But, you know, I've got so many things I need to make between now and then. But anyway, so that's those. I think they're pretty. They look darker on my phone than they really are. But this lady, this young girl likes green, so that's why I'm making those green socks. I want to make a shawl, a wedding shawl. It's a wedding shawl, but I want to make it out of green. I think like a forest green. So I've been looking at like Patton's Grace, like for a cottony type summer thing. I made wedding shawls, lots of shawls. I made lots of shawls out of Patton's lace, and it makes a really pretty beaded shawl. Really, really nice. And somewhere in my attic, I have a bunch of that, but I don't know where it's at. I can't remember. I know I didn't get rid of that, but I don't know where it's at. Today, when I go to town, I'm going to get some, you know, containers so I can go through my stuff up there. So maybe I'll find it, but I'd like this to be not fuzzy, but cottony, more cool, summery. So I'm thinking about that. I don't know. I don't know much about that. I've never used it, but I think you could bead with it, and I think it would be, well, maybe you couldn't. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out. Also, I've done the Red Heart shawl in a ball. Done a lot of those. I don't really want that. And then there's the one that's the cotton cakes, the shawl cakes. I've done some of those, and that's nice. I made a shawl 4 years ago, and I've worn it quite a bit, but I haven't worn it daily or anything, and it's really showing wear. So I don't know that I want to use that. I'm trying to decide. Maybe a really nice sock yarn, you know, might make a pretty shawl in a green, solid green with little crystal beads for the bottom. I don't know. That's a soon. I want to do that soon because I need it done soon. But I've got to go somewhere and find the yarn. Have to order it. Anyway, so that is what I am doing as far as handwork. Now I need to get my sweater out of the closet and put some rows on it because I know it's sad in there. It's very sad because I was working on it. I was just working on it and doing so well. And then I got distracted, sidetracked, and put it up because I wanted to finish. Well, I wanted to start something new. That's just the truth of the matter. I had this yarn and I was excited. And I wanted to start something new, which I did. And then I wanted to see how far it would go, how far that Nora would go, and what it would look like when it was done. And so, plus I had lots of grandkids and all kinds of stuff going on in my brain. So I didn't get that out, and I haven't worked on it. Another thing I need to do is I need to make a bunch of washcloths again because I wanted to make those for Christmas. I whacked my head the other day and it's still sore. And at one time I always kept a bunch of washcloths made up. Like I had like 65 of them. And I would have knitted ones and crocheted ones because I would be practicing stitches, and that's how I practiced my stitches. But I gave them all away, and I haven't made any more. Oh, another thing I did was I did buy a cone of washcloth yarn. I forgot about that. It's purple. It's like in the grapevine colorway, purple and green and cream and tan. I wonder what I did with that. It's somewhere around here. Anyway, I thought I need to make some washcloths again. So that's what I'm doing. Just mill doing. Not much. Waiting for my friend to come and get me and take me to the big town. And that'll be fun. Anyway, so it's summertime, and I was wondering, am I the only one who, when you work on wool in the summertime, feel like my hot hands are felting the wool? I guess that's probably not just me. But all the time I was working on this, I felt like my hands were felting the wool because it was so hot on the hot days. I don't know. It's like summer knitting and winter knitting are two different things, right? I need to get some small cotton thread. I may look when I'm at Walmart today. Because I know they have that Kaboo, and that might make a pretty shawl. And it's cotton and bamboo. That would be cooler to work with. Anyway, if I get all the stuff made up that I have in that back room and that room and that room in my attic, I will have crochet and knitting projects from now till kingdom come, which could be soon, actually. We say that, you know. And do we even think what we're saying sometimes? Sometimes we say strange things. I was thinking of that the other day. I said, I was talking to my friend, and we were talking we were commiserating, and I said, well, you know, they're just a tiddlewit. It's all they are is a tiddlewit. And they looked at me so funny, like they'd never heard tiddlewit. You know what a tiddlewit is? It's a silly woman. It's a silly woman who's just silly and makes silly decisions and does silly things. A tiddlewit. I said, you know, a tiddlewit's kind of like a Dingledorf. Dingledorf is a man who thinks more highly of himself than he ought, and yet is a goober, or a dandy, or a diddlewit. I don't know. People don't have a very expansive vocabulary anymore. So I don't want to be a diddlewit or any of those things. I don't want to be a Dingledorf or a tiddlewit. No, I want to be smart. and not foolish and not silly. I don't want to buy a bunch of yarn I'm not going to use. But on the other hand, I think I might need some. So, you know, it's a temptation to always get in the store and become a tiddlewit and just make silly decisions when it comes to yarn purchases and such like that. But I haven't really bought any yarn other than my Afghan yarn, and I did think about that before I bought it, so I haven't really done that for a while. So I'm due, right? Oh, I forgot. I spent $40 on musty yarn that I can't hardly use, and I threw half of it away. Never mind. I am a tiddlewit. Yeah, I am certifiable. So I'm hoping this week to get a bunch done on my Afghan. I would like to do a whole nother, honestly, I'd like to have it finished. I'd like to get it finished in the next week. And that could be possible. That is a possibility if I commit to it. Because I'd like to have that out of the way. And then I want to get my sweater down. But the sweater is what's so hot. It's wool. It's a blend, but it's really thick wool and it's hot. So I don't know, may not. But I need to get some more done on that because I'm committed to get things done. But I absolutely need to finish my socks, except for I don't get real excited about finishing socks till about August, September, because people don't wear socks around here until wintertime comes. You know, in Oklahoma, you have all the extremes, right? You have super freezing cold weather where all the trees, you have ice storm, all the trees fall over, and then 2 days later it's 94. You know, you just never know around here. Sometimes the trees are confused and the plants are confused and the people are confused, and you know, who knows. This last winter was not very severe, praise the Lord, but we did have some ice issues at my house because we had some water issues. But we've had more rain than normal, so everyone's wheat and everybody's grass and hay look real good. Praise God for that. We're very thankful for that. And so it's not like a lot of the time it's droughty this time of year, and it's just unpleasant. So I feel like spring came a little late, and we had a freeze after we had the plum bushes bloom and the currants. So I thought we wouldn't get any wild plums, but I've been told there are plums on the bushes and they're about that big, which is a big old plum. So that's good. So we will have plum jelly because that's good because I'm running low on it. Doesn't that sound good? Biscuits and butter, plum jelly. Anyway, that's all I know. So I'm going to get off of here and I'm going to get busy. I'm going to get busy and do something. I'm not going to crochet anymore. I'm not going to knit anymore today. I'm going to go right in there and clean my counter off and do my dishes. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, have a happy weekend stitches, everybody, and just keep looking up. Jesus is coming soon. Remember, that was a t-shirt. Keep looking up. KLUJICS. I had that on a t-shirt when I was in high school. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. I joined a underground society. It's called the Chicken Lovers Underground Clique or Club. They like to say click because then they change it to cluck, right? Yeah. So it's a secret. It's a secret. And our handshake is this. It's a joke. It's really a joke. I have two friends that like chickens, and so we decided we were going to start our own club. We're going to talk at the Chicken Lovers Underground. Anyway, have a great week. Stay in stitches.